So another thing I like to share is, so the first thing I share is Dr. Hawkins' book, and let me grab it. It's called his Book of Slides. And it was compiled by some of his students after he passed in 2012. And part of the book is his 101 Ways to Happiness. And since part of my tagline is how to be happy, I like to share one of Dr. Hawkins' 101 tips to happiness. And this week, we are on to number 11. And the ways to happiness on number 11 is to be pleased with the direction or alignment of where you want to be in your life, whatever goals you have set for yourself, instead of just meeting the goals, right? Enjoy the ride, smell the roses along the way. He's really suggesting that to not be present during the process of aligning with what you want, it's kind of empty, or can be empty, if you're not present with the whole process along the way. And I happened to watch an interview with Demi Moore on Jimmy Fallon recently. And she kind of brought up this interesting observation of her own life. She just wrote a memoir about her life. And she apparently had a pretty hard childhood. She didn't go into details, but I imagine it's in her memoir. And what she realized was that in order to feel worthy, in order to feel justified of being born at all, she was always running, trying to prove her worthiness. And she became very successful. But she had to admit that she was so much in fight or flight. And that's what she was in, because I've not recognized it in myself. I didn't know it until I heard about fight or flight. I'm like, I've been in fight or flight for decades and I didn't know it. And she kind of admitted it, that she didn't enjoy all of her successes along the way necessarily, because she was always running, trying to prove her worthiness of being born. And I mentioned it before, unworthiness in this world is insidious, and it's in all of us in consciousness. Just by virtue of the fact we're all on the planet together. We're all thinking similar thoughts. So the way you feel about yourself is really kind of the key to unlocking your own happiness and worthiness. But today's 101 Ways to Happiness is pointing at that be joyful and appreciate every step of the way. I mean, you can't hear it enough. Appreciation is huge in consciousness. And consciousness, when you appreciate, the attractor field of appreciation has got to be responsive. It responds to your appreciation by providing more for you to appreciate. That's kind of how it works. I'm pretty certain. And if you listen to Abraham and the teachings of Abraham with Esther and Jerry Hicks, they are always saying the same thing, right? Whatever you're giving your attention to, you're attracting that into your life, whether it's positive or negative. So appreciate every step along the way. And I always like to say, we're here for eternity. What's the rush? Enjoy the whole process. There is no rush. And when you're operating from lower levels of consciousness, this is kind of a signal that you're in a big fat hurry to achieve something, because you're trying to prove yourself and say, hey world, I'm not that unworthy. Look what I did, when you don't have to do that. So be pleased with the direction or alignment of your life instead of just the end goal, the completion. Enjoy the ride.